I hope this is working now. So it's sort of a little bit of a test run just to test out Restream again, because I did on the one hand sort of mess it up on Sunday, but I shall wait for a few people to join. Maybe no one, maybe it'll just be me. Invite your audience to connect. Close. I don't know if that's going to work. So I'm just going to check on my phone and just make sure that I'm online. So to say hello, if you've popped in, it's helpful if you can say hello so I know, whoops, so I know who's there. 2 people. Hello, Corrine. Good to see you. I'll just check on my, hopefully I can say, hey, good morning, Tash. I don't know if you're on my personal page or on my business page, because I've tried to fix it so that I can actually see comments from my big blah 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 blah. Can't speak, from my business. Oh, for God's sake, from my personal page as well. So yeah, I'll just wait for a couple more people to jump on. Just let me know where you're from. Are you on my business page? It would be helpful, or if you're on my personal page, because then, or maybe I'll post something on my personal page and see if I can see it. All right, it's me. It's me. Send. Did that work? Yes, I can see it. Fabulous. Okay, I know it works. Thank God. Thank God that's sorted. Well, it works on my personal page now, so happy with that. Happy with that. It took me a while. I was up Sunday night whilst everybody was sleeping, messing around with Restream and all that sort of stuff. So, okay, well, hello everyone. So I'm stopping by between some sessions. I've got a couple of sessions on today. I've been doing some readings this morning, and then I've got my tarot mentoring that I'm going to do at 12. So I don't have a lot of time to hang around, but I thought I'd spend a little bit of time talking about the guides again. One of the reasons why I wanted to drop in to talk about the guides too was that I had a conversation with somebody yesterday who suggested that actually there is no such thing as the guides, and that it's you, it's all you. And I agree and I disagree. Like, I agree and I disagree, and I'll tell you why. So I agree, but I do also disagree as well. So I thought I'd stop in and share my views on that, as well as, that's not to debunk anything that she feels. We all have our own truths, but I thought I'd share mine on here since I teach channeling, don't I? So, little bit of housekeeping. I should put the link in the comments here. I don't know what's come up on the, I'm still trying to work out Restream. So I've got a link there. So if you're in Perth, I have a beautiful, you like this setup, do you, Shannon? Yes, it's a bit better. Restream. It's called Restream. The video is not so good on my computer. I don't think I look pretty in the Restream video, but I don't care. Gone past worrying about that now. Anyway, moving on. So I have an in-house event this Sunday. So because of COVID, I've had to now cut the numbers. so I can have a small group in there. So I've only got now 3 more spots, 3 more seats available. And it is it's called Open to Channel. So it's an opening to channel event. I'm going to teach you how to channel your spirit team. You're going to learn how to read for yourself and others. I'm also going to give you some Reiki attunements to help you open your heart and to receive the guidance from the guides. Because one of the keys, which I'm going to be talking about today, is about dropping down the guard around your heart so that you can trust the guides where you can open your heart to trust the insights that are dropping in. Yes, I'll get a camera eventually. It's not that much of a bigger deal. I'm not that vain. A little bit vain, but not that vain. I'm okay. I'll survive it. I will survive it, Shannon. It'll be okay. That's what I say to Selena. You'll survive it. You're going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. So, yes, so that's this Sunday. Really looking forward to it. I'm going to gift you a free pack of gypsy cards. We're going to work with gypsy cards, not because they're gypsy cards, but because they are really clever little tools to help you engage with your subconscious, with the unconscious mind, which is what I would say soul and spirit resides in, that beautiful daydream, that unconscious space. And so these cards are really clever at enabling you to access this unconscious this unconscious or the subconscious realm. So they're different to tarot cards. Tarot cards have specific meanings. The Gypsy cards do not. You interpret the meaning based on a couple of methods that I teach in my tarot program, Rorschach and Ullman method, which I've taught some other people. Other people are now sharing that in their tarot programs, but that's come from me. Ullman method it's not actually a method for reading. It was designed as a way to interpret dreams from a perspective of appreciation, and I have turned it into a method of being able to read tarot. So it's kind of I've stolen a little bit from Ullman and then reinterpreted it in my way to teach readings. So that's where that's come from. You'll hear other teachers talking about it, but that's actually where it comes from. It's dream appreciation. So anyway, nonetheless, yes, that's what we'll be doing. So moving on. So there's my little sales pitch for the weekend, of course. Not anti-sales. It'll be an amazing weekend. And no, I know it's not about vanity, Shannon. I just don't really care right now about a camera. I will eventually. It's not on my list of priorities right now. This is good enough. This will do for now. It was me joking. It was me sort of tongue-in-cheek. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about the guides. Let's talk about who the guides are. So, yes, I had this conversation. Well, yes, I get obsessed sometimes too, Shannon. I do, but I've got just like too many things on my plate, too many things to worry about. Anyway, moving on. I want to talk about the guides. That's why I'm here. I don't want to steal too much time from you talking about cameras. Let's talk about some really more engaging conversation. So yes, so there was a conversation yesterday with someone who said that I don't know why people talk about channeling guides, because it's not where it's all coming from, and it's really just you and all of that sort of thing. So the way it's been explained to me is that the guides are light. We are light, the guides are light, and we are not separate from this light. But we all have this unique expression of the light. There are lots of beautiful, unique expressions of the light, and we see that in our 3D reality. We see beautiful trees, we see plants, flowers, other humans, sound, voices, sounds. There are all these beautiful, unique fractals of light, unique expressions of this one light. So going back to my tarot, because I think it's a really good example, the Magician card teaches us that we are whole and that we are holy. We are both. We are one, and yet we have agency. And so do the guides. So we channel this light, and these guides will come through and they will transmit energy or light frequencies through our field, and we interpret those light frequencies. And we interpret those light frequencies based on our cognitive schema, what we believe, our personal experiences, and the guides we will transfigurate the guides. Our soul will choose forms, and the guides together in sacred collaboration will choose a form that is relevant to our healing. Because the guides are here, the guides are here to enable us to heal. They're here to mentor us to become more of who we are, to become, in our full expression of whatever that might be for you, and to help us develop these beautiful soulful qualities like compassion and empathy and creativity and love and honesty. The guides and soul are interested in the development of these qualities to enable us to align with our highest purpose. Now, not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. Not everybody's interested in that. Some people don't have they're not there. They're not interested in developing these qualities to be of service in any way. But when people start to open to channel, when they learn to open to channel, often people feel inspired to be of service in one way or another. So the guides will choose these forms, will choose forms that will support you on your path of service that will enable you to fully express, or give you some knowledge to help you fully express your passions, your purpose, who you want to be, your becoming, your expansion of being on your path. So yes, so they'll choose forms that will complement that, will allow you to become more of this soul signature that you've come here to express in this lifetime. So in spiritual circles, the ego is pretty much demonized. It's seen as something as negative and I don't know, fear-driven and all of that sort of stuff. And yes, there's some element to ego that is about that as well. However, your ego is your identity, and it is part of the self. It is part of the whole. So we don't negate, the guides don't negate your identity. It becomes part of this expression of who you are. Maybe the earrings you wear, the clothes that you wear. Oh, little Michael Hutchins top on here. You know, the glasses you choose to wear, the way in which you decide your gait, how you stand, the jobs that you choose. They are expressions of your identity, of your unique identity that you are producing and enacting in your lifetime, that become part of your true purpose, become part of your soul. So replying to Shannon, oops, ego. It doesn't matter. Don't worry, Shannon, relax. It's all good. It's all good. I'm sending you love. We love you. You're amazing. Don't worry. It's all good. Don't know what. Yes, everybody has their own medicine. That's right. And ego is like necessary, because without the ego, well, the ego is the hero. It's the hero of the journey. It's what gives you that. That's where you get off the park bench and you stop sitting there, being ultra spiritual, thinking that you just like, what's the point? I'm just going to sit and be self and sit in my light and not do anything. The ego gives us the motivation to get off the park bench and start facing the challenges, start facing the fears, start growing who we are, start evolving our practice, start developing new skills, start following our passions. The ego is the hero or the heroine of the journey. And so we don't negate the ego. No, it's part of it. It's not separate from it. So the guides, my point is that the guides are aware of that. And so they help you with your expression. Who they are helps you to express more of you, because you're not separate from them. We are one, and yet we are holy. Or we are whole and yet we are holy. So we are one with the guides. They are not separate from us. We are a fractal of their light, yet we have our own sovereign nature, our own expression, our own personality that is part of who we're meant to express, or how we're meant to express who we are in this lifetime. So your ego is not static, right? It's not static, and your identity isn't static, and it's evolving. And it's changing based on the relationships that you have and the people that you learn from, and based on your experiences. You're not the same person that you were. Ego is I am. Yeah, and so you're still you're not the same person that you were 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. Hopefully I've grown a bit, right? We grow and we change. And the purpose of the guides is really to help us, is to support us in that growth. So it's to help us tap into our soul self. So being in alignment with these beautiful values like love and compassion and creativity and honesty, integrity, these soulful values that give us direction, they're like a guide. They help guide us to make decisions with more clarity. If we know what really matters to us, if we know what our values are and what these soulful values are, then it makes it very easy, or makes it easier to make decisions for ourselves about our future when we're at crossroads. And then so the guides help us get clear on these and amplify these soulful values, help us, help to amplify our soul, to bring our soul into our conscious awareness. And then also our soul then gifts, translates this, brings this transmission through, and it's translated through our identity, through our ego. Our ego is part of it as well. We put words to it. We create our dress, our life, everything that's happening around us is a creation of that ambition, that want of the ego, wanting to create, to manifest, to get off the park bench and make that thing happen, have the courage. And so when we receive these downloads, these transmissions from soul, spirit, the light source, whatever you want to name it, it's translated through our being, and we put context to it based on the identity that we're producing in our lifetime. So I was talking about the guides being a mentor. They're here to mentor us to become more of who we are, to become closer to self. So becoming closer to self, becoming closer to our authentic self, or our true expression. And the guides, the way I've been taught from the guides is basically it's doing what you love. Beck Goldring, I feel my ego is uplifted by income, so it's challenging when trying to find my purpose, because I keep thinking about how I can earn money and do what I love, which is what is my purpose, and I still don't know. So money, the guides want you to be aware of the great fortune of being in a first world country. No, let's not lie here. We are in the great fortune of being in a first world country. So I don't think where we have chosen a life where we're of the good fortune to have an abundant life. And it's not abundance, and money doesn't necessarily mean that it's ego driven. Abundance, an abundance of money can help us deliver our soul work with more ease, like paying for platforms, like paying for Restream, like paying for Zoom, like setting up events like I am this Sunday. I need money to set them up. I can't just show up and do it without money. Like, I need the money to do that. And the guides will divinely compensate you to deliver your work, and plus some. You're worthy of good, healthy food. You're worthy of being housed and clothed nicely. You're worthy of having a break and taking time off. And so money, it's not all bad. I think there's, in spiritual circles, people confuse being of service. Well, it often spiritual practices, I've seen it before. So, for example, I saw someone on Perth Tribe, let's just go flat out and say, I saw someone on Perth Tribe advertising something about shamanic, and someone jumped on there and said, oh, you should never pay for shamanic services, but I offer shamanic services by way of drum making. So you have to pay for your drum. So basically he's asking for money for his service. So he's using the drum as a way to actually deliver your spiritual practices. And just like I do with my gypsy cards, just like I do with my sound, just like I do with my Ouija board. So that was a very manipulative way of saying I am charging for my shamanic services. It was ridiculous. I read that and I thought, that's a joke. You're being ridiculous. Stop trying to manipulate us. There's nothing wrong with earning money for doing what you love. The guides want us to. That's part of our soul purpose, or part of our true purpose. If you're willing, not everybody's willing to do this, but if you're willing to step into the power of your true purpose, you can make money doing what you love. You can make it your life's work. You can. I bought a house by doing my life's work. It enabled me to get a loan. I haven't bought it cash outright, but it enabled me to get a loan, and I've got a nice home that I'll be moving into. It's not fancy. Maybe one day it'll be fancier, So yes, the guides want to divinely compensate us, which leads me to this. So let me go back to what does that mean for the guides to mentor you? What is it all about? So your guides you've been born earth side. And you've been born earthside to fulfill this purpose, which is really about coming back home to love. And so how do we do that? We do that by doing things that pleasure us, that provide us with this sense of connection to source and to love. And we do that by engaging in activities that awaken our heart consciousness, that have us feeling like we're in love, that we're lit. When I've got the tarot, when I'm playing the tarot, I love it. I feel good. I feel lit. I feel awake. I feel woke. I feel connected. I feel connected to myself. It gives my ego a sense of identity, tarot reader, and it gives my soul pleasure. It gives my soul purpose, where I get to deliver these soulful values in my readings. So it provides me with an identity, and it provides me with a greater purpose, a greater meaning of being able to hold space for people in a way that's uplifting and that's life-giving. So it's serving two purposes. My ego's happy and so is my soul, And so the guides are here to mentor you to follow your bliss, to do what you love. We overcomplicate it. Just in the act of participating in doing what we love, even if it's as simple as going for a walk or playing out in nature. Let's just say you love going for a walk. It's one of your activities that you like to do. When you are participating in that, you receive. You receive downloads. You receive divine compensation. People cross your path. Doors open. Every time we step into the power of love, of our true path, of our heart path, we receive. That doors open to us. But a lot of us are scared to do that. We might dabble, or we might receive some insight, and the guides might say, look, we'd really love you to start reading for people. And then you get scared and you say, I'm just going to put that on the shelf for a while, and it starts to collect dust, and you dam up the flow and you slow it down. But if you trust that, if it drops into your field, if that drops into your field and you take a step closer to that, you will be divinely compensated for that in one way or another. You receive every time you open to more of who you are, which is what this mentoring is about, what the guides are mentoring us to do, to become more of who we are. You receive. You are divinely compensated. I hope this is making sense, because I don't have any notes here. I'm just sort of chit-chatting. Yes, worthy of being surrounded by beautiful art and plants. Absolutely. And what it does, when you step into the power of that love, it opens your mind. You start to see more. You start to feel more. It creates this beautiful lens and softening your view so that you can start to see and perceive more possibilities rather than limitations. The guides are here to stretch us, to push us out of our comfort zone. The way to grow is to step into the discomfort. So if you think of life as contraction and expansion, it's not just expansion, it's the contraction too. And without the contraction, it doesn't propel us forward. So a client before, a long while before, talked about, she saw some jellyfish in a tank, and she was watching the jellyfish propel itself forward. And it was doing that by contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. And every time it contracted, it created this expansion. So the guides want us to step into the discomfort to expand. So that doesn't mean that you go looking for digging into old wounds or anything along those lines. I'm talking about like moving into areas that have you feel some discomfort. For example, I was a bit scared to go live today. I felt some fear around that. I have moments where I go live and I don't like it. Like I just don't. I feel exposed, And it was that feeling of being exposed. Like I just didn't, there was some fear around that, and I know. And I was like, well, I'm about to talk about this today. I should bloody well get online and actually expose myself, do the thing that I'm being prompted to do, to grow and evolve who I am, which is what the guides want us to do. They're supporting us to do that. And I'll be divinely compensated for it in one way or another. I don't know how that will be. We'll see. We'll see what happens, So they stretch us. When you get a nudge from the guides about what's next on your path, because usually they nudge you around what's next, prompt you receive a transmission. Think of it like throwing a ball. You can throw a ball off into the distance. However, as far as you can throw a ball is as far as they will stretch you, and it is quite a distance, right? You think, oh my God, can I actually do this? You don't receive those downloads without the guides in full trust, and your soul in full trust in your capacity and your capabilities to do it. They know that you can. They know that you can, and so when you receive these nudges, they're not trying to set you up for failure, not at all. They want to set you up for growth and expansion, to develop this healthy ego, this courage muscle, to help you develop this courage within you, so that you can meet life's challenges with a sense of emotional resilience, because it builds emotional resilience for you to be able to stretch and grow, to continue to grow yourself. So ego, it's part of it. It's not separate from it. And we all need to have some level of a healthy ego to be able to manage the challenges that life throws us. It's not easy, Earthside. When we put up our hand to go Earthside, I joke around and I sometimes say, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Because we are faced with challenges that really have us question who we are. And you'll see people that have a very fragile ego. They don't cope very well. They probably have more breakdowns than they do have breakthroughs. These experiences, they teach us how to develop, courage to move away from the fragility of an insecure ego into the confidence of being who you are, and your capacity to be able to move through the challenges. So we're meant to step out of our comfort zone, for sure, to grow and to learn. So let me have a look what comments I've got here. I have to go soon. I hope this was helpful. I feel like I'm sort of a bit all over the shop, but that's okay. That's okay, no problem. Just being real. So let me see, what comments have I got here that might be helpful? Worthy of being surrounded by beautiful art and plants. Yes. Okay. Do you have any questions before I go? So let's see if there's anything here that's helpful. No questions. Okay, well, that makes it easy for me. So I'm going to put another link in there. If you'd like to learn how to open to channel, here is the link there. I've got 3 spots still open in Perth, and it's an in-house event. I do run these events online as well, but I felt like doing an in-house event. I felt like doing this in-house. So I still have 3 spots available. I'll hold space for you to teach you how to channel your guide. We'll talk more about the purpose of channeling, like what's the point, why we're doing this. I'll also teach you how to read the Gypsy cards, to tap into the channeled guidance from soul and spirit and source. You'll also receive some Reiki 1 attunements to help clear your energy field and to awaken your heart, to open your heart. And tomorrow I might talk about heart consciousness and the importance of that actually in channeling. That's what I'll do tomorrow, awakening the heart and why that's important, why we need to look through the lens of the heart rather than the mind, why that needs to become the lens, and why people are scared to do that. Yes, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, well, that's it from me. I've got to go because I've got work to do. Sending you all so much love. Thanks for showing up. And yes, there's the link there. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday. Take care, everyone.